stock through 9/6/22.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana, Howard FC, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Rise and shine, campers. It's a brand new day.
What a lovely morning.
Good morning, Starshine.
You seem happy this morning.
Morning, everybody. Thanks for coming in early.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local. Live from the J. Michaels Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Get past the people, get past the hit me.
Hit me! 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We've been hit, baby. We have been hit. It is school time. Drive careful. We all know it starts today, and I got to give a shout out to Bay District Schools. I think it's probably one of the safest school districts around. Hold off on that. It's one of the safest school districts around because of Tommy Ford. Our great sheriff does an incredible job. And we all know that Leighton Bell starts school today in Lorelei, so I'm pleased.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to miss Leighton, though.
This is parent vacation day.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
There you go.
John,
That's the truth.
I have a ritual, though. With Leighton, I go to J. Michael's for lunch during the summertime quite a bit. Lorelei likes going to Rudy Tootie's, so we go to our certain places to go, and now it's over. So it's kind of sad your granddaughters are back in school.
Oh, that is sad.
It is. I'll miss Leighton Bell. But, I told her straight
You're going to have
A's.
to come up with a new school time ritual
Yeah.
to take care of the old-time summertime ritual.
Yes, sir. We will get it. Let's see. But you messed my train of thought. Oh,
Blame it on me.
I do want to give a shout.
Me.
Seriously, the police department's out there protecting our kids. Mm-hmm. We've got teachers out in the hallways. It's going to be a great school year for Bay District schools. Everybody's pumped up. I'm excited. My granddaughter, Leighton Bell, starting second grade. Lorelei is starting her second year preschool. I don't know if it's called preschool. No, it's at a church here in town. Well, actually on the beach. So excited about both of them. I know they're pumped up. Yesterday, Julie went and bought a huge bag of school supplies, everything you can think of. I think one little toy and some stuff. Went over to the house, went to Jared's house last night, and Leighton came to the door. We gave them their little bag, and they were so happy. They were all pumped up. And
I remember
like
those
this.
days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was the age where you got excited to get school supplies.
Yeah. And remember,
you get older, you get that. It's like getting socks at Christmas.
Do you guys remember the lunch buckets you used to take to lunch?
Oh, yeah.
One time my dad or mom, somebody bought it. I never had anything because we used to get just a bag, paper bag. But they bought me a Batman
lunchbox.
Yeah. And that was you wouldn't believe it. I was so happy. So it was like Christmas time there.
Just think you could retire and not do this show if you still had that lunchbox. As much as that thing's worth.
That was a long time ago, man. But Leighton had a brand new book bag. Lorelei had one. So I'm pumped up about school year this year. Straight A's, Leighton Bell. Lorelei, straight A's. That's what we want.
Just do the best you can. Don't listen.
No. Anyway, I do want to say this though about. I do feel good about the safety of our schools. You know, the stuff that happened out in Texas, all the shooting, and they stood outside the doors for an hour. That would never happen here in Bay County, ever. Our police officers, our guys, would be knocking down doors, windows, getting in there. They're not that way. And I got to get a shout out to them. I had one of my former players is a police officer. And I asked him one night, I said, would that have happened here? Would y'all guys have waited? He goes, absolutely not.
Not here.
He goes, man. So anyway, shout out to Bay District Schools. I know they got a safety plan. I know we've got teachers that they're packing in the school, if you know what I'm talking about, which is outstanding. So I think we're in good shape here. I really do. I think it's going to be a great year for everybody. Brian, the high school football is cranked up. They've been practicing hard. All this swim team are they going?
Oh, they never stop.
That's year-round.
Well, most of them do year-round. There are some that are seasonal, but that would have started August 1st. So, yeah, everybody's going. I mean, it's just navigating the weather.
Yeah, and you've been really tied down with all the stuff you do with swimming.
Yeah.
More paperwork than anything else right now?
Yeah. Right now is kind of the setting up the registration for the year, and they've got a whole new system. So, yeah, my life has not been very fun and probably won't be for the next couple of weeks. But, if my life's not fun, that's because I'm trying to make it to where the team's life is a little easier. So that's
You're a good man,
I guess
brother.
good for them.
Man. I want to give a shout out to my son, Jared Hale. He got an award for his company he worked for, and I saw it, got a trophy and stuff like that.
Nice.
And I don't know if he get mad or not, but great award, did really well. He leaves the company. He took another job. That's great. You get this award, you leave him. What are you doing?
I like this guy.
Was that like that watch they gave Coach Brian at Kentucky? Was it one of those deals?
Yeah, they gave the other guy a Cadillac. They gave Jared a watch. He said, I'm done. I'm out.
I'm out.
No, he did great, man. He was like one of the leading salesmen, but he took a job with another company, got a huge raise, so he's doing really well. So proud of him. But that was pretty cool.
So lunch's on you, Jared.
No, you kidding me? He's smart. He's
He'll
smart.
just pass it to you.
Yeah. He said, no, I can't. I got investments. I got my investments to deal with. But anyway, we're so school. Hey, drive careful today.
Yeah.
They're in session. School's back. The teachers have been back.
Yes.
They've been doing their work. They've been working their tails off, bless their hearts, meetings and everything else. I can remember those days. You go back, and I was fortunate because the last 13 years you're administrator in Bay County, so I was focused on other things, and they're going to all these meetings and stuff like that. And then when the kids start, it's kind of good because they don't have to go sit in these boring meetings all day long. Yeah. And we got some great teachers here in Bay County.
It's weird starting on a Wednesday. I mean, I guess it makes sense. You can get the teachers kind of get settled a day or two before you start. But at least we're not starting. At least we're not starting on a Friday. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff that just drove me nuts. Nobody comes.
That is a good point what you made.
Yeah.
Why would we just not look at the calendar and go, let's start on Monday?
Yeah.
You know, but you know what? They got to get so many days in a certain period of time.
I'm
That's
okay
what it
with
is.
Wednesday, but
yeah.
Well,
they'll get up 3 days this week. They'll get to go home and sleep a couple days. Then they'll get into a routine after that. So anyway, but I'm with Brian. We could change it and start on Monday. Hey, turn around and go back home, man. Y'all come on Monday. We'll help solve it for you. Anyway, I hope all you kids out there have a great school year. Appreciate you listening. I know we have a lot. I have so many people tell me, I like listening to you in the morning. We got the kids in the car and some of the things we say. Here's one of the things we always say. You never give up. You never give in. You never quit.
That's right.
Okay? Never give up. Never give in. Never quit. You want to have a great school year and you want to make really good grades, hang around great people. You are what you hang around with. You want to be a thug, hang around a thug. You want to make bad grades, hang around those kids. You want to make good grades, hang around smart kids.
Well, and you and I are proof. If you don't do your homework, look where you end up.
Yeah. I bring Brian in here because I want to be smarter. I got John in here because I want to be smarter. That's all it is. John, I love taking Laura and Leighton to Buster's. Talk about Buster's. What are you going to do about Buster's?
Well, as you may or may not know, and especially talking about school and school supplies and things like that, ESPN Northwest Florida 104.3 and 102.1. They are meeting up with Dave and Buster's, and this Saturday, August the 13th, from 3 until 5 p.m., they're going to be giving away free backpacks filled with school supplies, and they're going to have a back-to-school photo booth. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to assume that you get some pictures taken with your buddies. They're going to be giving away power cards and coupons, and they're going to have a raffle, and the donations to the Children's Advocacy Center. That's a hard word for me to say. They're going to be giving away power cards every 30 minutes. So check out Dave and Buster's this Saturday, August the 13th from 3 to 5 p.m. If you don't already have those school supplies, we know you're under the current situation. You may be strapped for some cash. So head on out there to Dave and Buster's and have some fun and get a free backpack filled with school supplies, which will come in darn handy. So thanks to
Dave
ESPN and Dave and Buster's. Check that out.
I'm telling you right now, some of the best times we've had, Dave and Buster's going down there. Leighton and I would, I've got the Jurassic Park, I think what it is. You sit there and you shoot dinosaurs and stuff like that. Since she was born, I mean, when she could hardly move, we put her in there and she started shooting. And her and I used to always go and shoot. We have killed so many dinosaurs. I feel guilty.
Dang, I wonder
feel
where they
guilty.
went.
I thought little kids are supposed to like dinosaurs.
Oh, no, we shoot them. We have no mercy.
They like to kill them.
Leighton and I, we blow them away. When they're dead, we keep on shooting, man. We're going to make sure. We got that Tommy Santamite, man. We're going to keep shooting, baby. Unload our bullets. We keep ready to go. Keep the ammo dry. Laura likes playing all those games also. But get out to Dave and Buster's. That's a great thing we're tied in with them. Because you're right, John. A lot of people right now are struggling. They need some help.
That's
so,
right.
you know.
And it's a cool way to go get that stuff without going somewhere, and being looked at.
All right. Before we get, I hadn't had a chance to get this in. I'm going to do it really quick. The ACC, we're going to have to probably deal with maybe one or two teams. Who knows who's the Cinderella team this year? I think it's maybe Houston, but this is what they have, AAC prediction. And I guess this is the final year they're all in it. I think after that they go to the Big 12. Am I right on that? Who knows?
It depends who gets out of contracts early or not. But yeah.
Coming in at number 11, Temple. Number 10, Navy. Number 9, they are future opponents of the University of Alabama. That's South Florida. Tulsa, number 8. Tulane. We used to play Tulane all the time. Mm-hmm. They're number 7. East Carolina. Watch out for East Carolina, man. We have played them before, especially when Pat Dye was there. They're good. They can upset somebody every once in a while, but they got them 6. Memphis is 5th. Number 4, SMU. And guess what, Brian? They've been really nice to all athletes there. Every football player at SMU and basketball player will receive $36,000 per year through NIL.
They were making,
what do you think about that?
Well, they were making more than that in the 80s.
The Trans Ams look good.
At SMU, like they
wait a minute, that was a Texas A&M Trans Am that he took to SMU.
Yeah, but I mean, all SMU had to do when NIL started was dust off the old playbook.
Unbelievable, man. A great point you made right there. But seriously, you talking about locker room people that have the chemistry of the team. Everybody's getting paid. Everybody's making some money. They all should be happy. That's a pretty good chunk of change. $36,000 a year, every football player. Doesn't matter if you start, first team, second team, whatever, $36,000.
I think I worked 12 or 15 years before I was making that a year.
Oh, man. Pretty nice. Of course, that's not even the big superstar players throughout the country. Like Tennessee's quarterback, the rumor was $8 million. Who knows what the true number was. Number 3, watch out for him. Gus Malzahn, Central Florida. He's got a lot of former Auburn players down there. I think Central Florida's going to be pretty good. Mm-hmm. And number 2, it's Cincinnati. And they open up week 1. We'll talk about that later against
they lost a lot.
Arkansas. Number 1, Houston. They beat Auburn. Mm-hmm. What did they go last year? I think they won 11-2.
2 or 3 losses.
Yeah, they had a really good year. So this could be the team.
Got a lot of talent there.
Houston could be the superstar out of that league, and who knows if they, how everything plays up. We might be talking at the end of the year. They deserve to be
good coach too. So.
Excellent coach. Don't like him though, the way he talked about Birmingham and the way Auburn and everything else. I thought he was childish, but it is what it is. Yeah. All right, we'll be right back. We've got Brian with us today. We get back, Brian's going to hit FSU. Dr. Ward's going to call in around 7:30.
Yeah, we got to get FSU done before Dr. Ward gets
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully he's not listening to that segment. Hey, but seriously, y'all have a great day today. It's the first day of school. Drive careful. Leighton Bell, Lord, I hope you, my beautiful granddaughters, have a great day. Get down to J. Michael's restaurant. You know what it is, Brian? What is it today? Not only school's open today.
Ooh,
what else?
It's
spaghetti
world famous.
World famous J. Michael spaghetti. He did it just for you because he knows school's back in session. Parents, get in there and enjoy it. You'll love it. Stevenson Air Conditioning is feeling good right now. Really good right now. Buffalo Rock. They've done so many great things with Bay District schools. Let's take care of them. You go to the grocery store. You're having a big get-together. Make sure it's Buffalo Rock products. They have helped your kids along the way. I guarantee you that. Chuck Tucker, you are number 1, brother. Not even close. South Oak title and closing. Chuck Tucker. His daddy used to be the principal at Mosley. He was nothing but a winner. Chuck is nothing but a winner. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And anybody complaining in this day and age in passing game football and National Football League, is shaming themselves. I get into conversations with these young receivers all the time. You're playing flag football. A dude runs off the line of scrimmage and catch a 20-yard pass, and everybody goes, what a great route. What route? He just ran down the field with nobody touching him.
Get off my lawn.
Yes. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Weekday mornings starting at 5 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Mid-South Lumber has new owners. Stop in and visit Ann and Dave. They're on site every day to make you a priority. They're not the typical big box store, and customer service is their #1 priority. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years. Transform your home with James Hardy Siding. Durability, fire resistant, sustainability. James Hardy Color Plus is virtually maintenance-free and comes with a 30-year warranty. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby. The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Is that the sound of an ooey gooey, cheesy, crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously. But as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Do you know who I am?
If he was the last person on Earth,
I'm kind of a big deal.
mankind would still have a chance.
We may have to repopulate the Earth.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show.
I'm very important.
Live from the J. Michael Studio on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
I'm sorry. You caught me sleeping. FSU, Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. Woo! Our newbies. We got 3 great locations. John and Charlotte do such a wonderful job. Get out to the mothership this Friday or Saturday. Listen to some of the best music you can hear anywhere. They've got food there now. Newbies 2 on the curve to watch all sporting events. Florida State football getting ready to play LSU. Brian's got some other things for us today. That's kind of quiet, but you got a few things for us.
Yeah, and I want to look at we're going to look at the schedule a little bit here too. But let's start with baseball because baseball announced the hiring of another assistant coach. Coach Link Jarrett's bringing over a lot of the staff that was so successful with him there at Notre Dame, which is a good thing. But just announced the hiring of Brad Vanderglass. Now, he was an assistant with Jarrett at Notre Dame. He joins pitching coach Chuck Restano and recruiting coordinator Rich Wallace, who also came from the Notre Dame staff. Now, Vanderglass will work with the outfielders. He's going to manage the practices and lead all the instructional camps and clinics for the Seminoles. Before his year at Notre Dame, he spent 5 seasons at Indiana State and 3 years coaching at Lincoln Trail College in Illinois. So another good hire there for baseball as they start the new Link Jarrett era there in Tallahassee. Inside Seminole football, that's going to kick off here Monday, August 15th. That'll be the debut. It's going to have new voice of the Seminoles, Jeff Colhane, and, of course, Mike Norvell, and they'll have lots of guests through the year, players, coaches, different things like that. But it'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern, going to air every Monday through the season from starting this coming Monday, August 15th, through November 21st. So Seminole fans, we're getting close. We're only about 3 weeks away, I think, 3.5 weeks away from the first game.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes,
What's going to be tougher? Alabama fans getting used to not having Eli go. Chris Stewart, they all know Chris Stewart, so I think it's going to be more easier on them. But Florida State fans, the legendary, this guy's incredible.
It's going to be tougher for Florida State because it's a total new guy and it's a clean break. Eli, while he won't be there in the beginning, Eli is not completely gone. At least we hope not. There hasn't been that announcement yet. So there's hope that Eli could be there. Plus, like you said, Chris Stewart is a known commodity in
Chris
the Alabama.
Stewart's excellent.
Yeah, he's called plenty of things. He said he filled in for Eli when he was out for the game with COVID. So, yeah, he's a known quantity. So I think it'll be tougher.
Tougher on FSU. I
think so. I mean, it's almost like another kind of chipping away from the Bowden era. It's and when Odell finally leaves, I mean.
How many years was Gene there? Does it say?
I don't have it in front of me.
It seems like forever. Yeah.
So that'll be interesting, but. We're getting close. The opener against Duquesne is like in 3 weeks, 5 p.m. Eastern on the ACC network. I think you actually get that now.
Can you believe that? We're getting ready to kick off.
We're almost there.
Can't wait. High school football's next week is the Jamborees. The following week, the first regular season is here, man. Yeah. It's going on.
I had an interesting read on Knowles 247 today. They're talking about Jared Verse. This just came out this morning. Of course, the new transfer in from Albany that everybody wanted. Big defensive lineman, and he's really stepped it up this year. But one area where he's really brought some excitement to the program is they say he is quite the trash talker and loves mixing it up with everybody. He'll go after the offensive line or the defense play. They say he'll even have a run at some assistant coaches sometimes. And they love it. They mix it up. They say he talks about it. He really doesn't do it during games, but he loves to do it during practices because he feels like it hypes the practices up, really gets the competitiveness going. And I'd never really thought about it that way. But, yeah, I mean, I think that's neat. But they say they love it. And the other guys say, you know, hey, if you're going to talk trash, you need to be able to back it up. And Jared Verse can back it up. So they talk about him kind of bringing an energy to practice that maybe they haven't had, or, you know, sometimes people talk trash and they can't back it up, and it just serves to get everybody upset.
Did you hear they had a scrimmage was going to happen? Of course, we know how the weather is over there. They had an electrical storm. So they went indoors and practiced indoor facilities. I said, well, yeah, that's no big deal because the real game is against LSU indoors. But then again, I kind of forgot about week one. They're outside and dope. Yeah. But I don't think they're going to have a problem week one.
Well, we certainly hope not. I mean, last year taught us.
What state's that school from?
Duquesne?
Somebody, Pittsburgh?
Else. I think that's right. Maybe in Pennsylvania.
Yes, I think
I don't know. They've got a Q and an S in their name. I don't understand that school.
I wonder how much money they're making off this game. $1 million?
Enough.
Yeah.
Well, but you don't take anybody for granted at Florida State after last year. So we need to be ready. Speaking of the schedule, all of the talk, not so much on Duquesne, but all of the talk has been on the LSU game, and it's a critical game. But let's say one way or the other. You get the big win over LSU. Let's say you're 2-0. You lose a heartbreaker like the Notre Dame game last year. You're 1-1. I think the critical stretch for FSU is going to be the next 5 games, because after LSU, you got 5 straight weeks before the break. And listen to this gauntlet FSU's got to run. At Louisville.
Yeah, and Louisville's going to be better, guys.
Boston College.
Okay. At Boston College?
No. Boston College will be in Tallahassee.
Good, okay.
Wake Forest in Tallahassee.
Pretty good.
At NC State.
They're going to be really good.
And then Clemson in Tallahassee.
Those two right there.
That gauntlet is going to define the season. Now, I think, generally speaking, if you go 3-2 in those 5 games, you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
You might go 2-3. You certainly can't go 1-4. But a lot of it's going to depend. If you come out of the LSU game, let's say 1-1, and you go 3-2 over that next stretch, you've still got a winning record going into the last 4 games of the year, which are Georgia Tech, 5 games. Georgia Tech, Miami, Syracuse, Louisiana, and then the Florida game.
Miami and Florida be tough.
So that 5-game stretch. So let's talk about them individually. You're coming out of LSU. One way or the other, that Louisville game is going to be a tough one.
Where's that game played at, Louisville?
At Louisville.
Oh, God.
So either you're running
breaking news, Louisville just scored again.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah. If you beat LSU, you're running on a huge high. You got to go on the road for the second week in a row.
If he's hot, watch out.
And if you lose, are you demoralized? You go to your first conference game. That's a tough game either way.
Louisville's got a freshman coming in. Well, now, wait a minute. I think he won't be playing this year. They got the number 1 running back commitment.
Yeah, that won't.
So they don't have to worry about him. But Cunningham, when he's on, they can beat anybody. When he's off, they can lose to anybody. I worry about the Louisville game.
Yeah, I'd say if I'm looking at that one
they gotta
right
win that
now,
game.
that may be a loss. But,
if they win that one, I feel good about it.
Boston College, probably the easiest game of those 5 games. And honestly, Boston College is a different animal not having to go up there.
Exactly.
So we'll say they win that one.
That's in Tallahassee.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Wake Forest,
if they were going to Boston College, I'd worry about it.
Wake Forest and Tallahassee. Wake got on such a good run last year, but I don't know that they're a real physical team like they were. So getting them here, I feel pretty good about that one. 2 games in a row at home, probably coming out of a win.
Now, those 3 is Louisville. They beat Louisville, they're going to have a good year.
Oh, yeah.
LSU, Louisville, they get those 2 a good year. NC State, I don't know.
NC State,
I don't know about
that's tough. I don't know. And there's a lot of hype around NC State.
Where's
this
Clemson
year at home.
Oh, it is in Tallahassee. I like that.
Remember the whole debacle over the COVID year game and everything like
right.
that. So
calm down, Dabo.
That game will be chippy. There's no doubt about it. But man, you're talking about think about the physical beating a team that's not real deep.
Yeah.
LSU, Louisville, Boston College, Wake Forest, NC State, 5 weeks in a row, 3 of them on the road.
That's tough.
Before you play a team like Clemson,
Yeah.
That's a tall order. And I haven't looked. I need to see if Clemson has a break before then. I don't think they do. I think they have one after as well.
Right.
But again, I think you target those 5 games. If you're FSU and you go 3-2, I know everybody wants to win every game. I think if you go 3-2 in that 5-game stretch, you're in pretty good shape.
Right. If they can beat LSU and Louisville, they're going to have a really good year.
Yeah. Then
But
you get
I am worried about NC State, though.
You get Georgia Tech, and then you get a Miami team that should be better, but having a break and then a Georgia Tech game before
Where's
that.
Miami at this year? Tallahassee?
I want to say that's in Tallahassee, but I need to look.
Miami's going to be good, guys. That guy can coach. You look at his recruiting right now. They're knocking out the dang ballpark.
Well, but that'll take effect next year.
Right.
You know. But they've got a good team, and here's the key for Miami. They have an experienced quarterback coming back with talent. Tyler Van Dyke is a good quarterback.
Yeah, and I think the Florida game's at home, too.
Yeah, let's see here. I'm working on it.
That's all right.
Google is your friend.
There you go. You got it. Clemson.
Miami is in Miami.
Ooh, okay.
So that'll be played in front of 4,000 screaming fans.
That'll be all Florida State fans.
And the Florida game is at home.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So, that's a good point you made. That's a tough stretch. I didn't realize how bad that is. They'll get the first win. If they can beat LSU, which I'll tell you what now, I think that's going to be really hard. But if they beat LSU and beat Louisville, we're in good shape.
The more and more these last couple of years, I've really tried to watch the season and the trends and look for things like that. The stack of games in a row, not having that break.
Yeah.
Did you really see teams fall off the last game before the break?
FSU is a Friday night game. Did you know that?
Yeah. We talked about that, how we needed to get that audience back, and I thought it was a pretty good move. I know the traditionalists won't want it off a Saturday, but I think that game needs to get a marquee back up. We saw what Mississippi State Ole Miss did by moving their game.
That's Thanksgiving weekend.
Right.
Okay.
But that was critical into getting eyes on that game that normally wouldn't have cared. Now it's seen as a bigger national game than it ever was before because it got eyes on it. I think Florida State, while they're both kind of rebuilding, getting that game on Friday is big.
Now, didn't they move the Ole Miss Mississippi State game back to Thanksgiving?
It is back to Thanksgiving.
So now we got that one
2
on
years ago, I
Thursday.
think, or 3 years ago, they had it on Saturday, and it got lost in the shuffle.
That's really good. Thursday, you got Mississippi State. Friday, Florida State.
Years
Saturday,
ago,
Alabama, Auburn, Ohio State, Michigan.
It used to be traditional. Years ago, you would have the Mississippi State Ole Miss game on Thursday. You'd have Arkansas LSU on Friday.
Yeah.
And then you'd have the big Alabama Auburn, Florida State.
We might still have that. I'm not sure about Arkansas LSU.
But I actually think that game's moved earlier now. I think LSU closes with A&M now. I could be wrong on that, but that I just remember that game always used to be Friday. So.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to Coach Blair at Surfside. Tell you what, he's done a great. Appreciate everything he did for us when we were at Arnold and the way he coached those kids up and helped us have good years. His son, Eli Blair, he is this. I didn't realize that was his son. You know, they had 2 stud freshman baseball players, Moss and Blair. Well, that's Eli. That's his son. He's going to be a sophomore at Arnold. He's 6'7". And you talking about they went to a lot of baseball camps. I'm really excited about
You've been hanging upside down for years.
Golly, I mean, that's huge. I can't wait to baseball. I mean, I can't wait to football, but baseball, Arnold baseball, those 2 guys are going to be sophomores. Look out, baby. Look out for those Marlins. I hope they all have a good year over there at Arnold High School.
We had such a great baseball season this past year.
It's going to get better.
I hope so.
We got all these new coaches everywhere. I'm excited about everything. All right, let's talk about being excited. Dr. Chad Mitchell's getting ready to start. I think it's 23rd year on Bay County sidelines. Unbelievable. The legendary doctor. I think everybody in this office. Matter of fact, over the years, last 5 years, I think just about every one of our special guests have been to see Chad. If you get injured, do what the highly intelligent do, the gifted athletes do. We all go see Dr. Chad Mitchell. God does a great job. We have him on here every Monday. You need to listen. He does a great job on Mondays. Also, if you love golf, there's Bay Point. No place better to go play Bay Point. You know where I went yesterday? Went down there lunchtime to see Ryan. Saw Ryan and Linda, and I bought me 2 shirts. They got the best merchandise down there you can get anywhere. That's unbelievable. It really
top
is
quality
super stuff. But Scott Ross was down there. Saw John Warren. I saw a lot of people say hello to me. Really enjoyed seeing those people down there yesterday. Get out to Bay Point Golf if you love golf. Ryan will be in here Friday. We can't wait to get him in here. Don't forget about Rudy Tootie's Barbecue on Back Beach Road. That's where Lord I says go. Go to Rudy Too's. You'll love it, man. The best barbecue, the best chicken, the best turkey. Rudy's Barbecue on Back Beach Road. We'll be right back. Drive careful. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's here. The 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app version 2.0. Now featuring ultra high fidelity. You'll feel like you're in the game. Plus more opportunities to win weekly prizes from local businesses when you click it to win it. Download the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app today at Google Play or the Apple Store.
Hey there, I'm Swampy Jack. I've traveled the world for decades, and now I've brought some of my most exciting adventures to Panama City Beach. Brave perilous heights of the Kraken Tower swing as you soar above the beach. The whole family will have fun playing my new mini golf course, which recreates my expedition to the ruins of Angkor Wat. Skip the restaurant lines and enjoy a meal at Swampy's Cantina, and enjoy a beer while you listen to laughter bubbling from the spin coaster. Your adventure awaits at Swampy Jack's Wongo Adventure.
Great design is timeless, and that's why Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves offers a stunning selection of vintage, antique, estate jewelry on sale now at 40% off. Exquisite Victorian rings, Art Deco diamond brooches, Georgian and Art Deco bracelets, earrings, and pendants. These one-of-a-kind pieces add personality to any ensemble, and now at 40% off. Find your timeless treasure at Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves.
As a realtor, it's important who you choose as your title company. May we suggest South Oak Title? Their offices are modern, comfortable, and state-of-the-art. South Oak Title can close transactions in any location in Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. Their free mobile app allows realtors to deliver a net sheet in seconds. They provide mobile closing services to accommodate buyers and sellers. Their offices are beautifully decorated, state-of-the-art, complete, safe, and secure. South Oak Title, creating a better title and closing experience through technology and tailored service. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
Now, it's the Coach James Hale Show.
Go nuts.
Live from the J. Michael Studio at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. First day of school. Drive careful. Feel safe. We got a great school system here in Bay County. You listen to the legendary 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Only the best. Only the most popular. Only legends live here. And we got one on the phone right now. Dr. Ward, how are you doing, sir?
Great day today, Coach. Traffic is not too bad. I'm in Panama City Beach on Back Beach Road, and it just seems like a normal day.
Wait a minute. Are you in the, you're heading to the Back Beach office today?
No, I live in Walton County.
Oh, you coming in. Okay.
Beach every day.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Well, I want to know this. This is
one
a
of them
tough
Walton
question.
County interlopers.
I want to know this.
I was born and raised in Walton County, guys. I just moved closer to home.
There you go. Let me ask you, do you try to get around to every one of your offices? I mean, you got them everywhere throughout Northwest Florida. Did you try to get by every one?
To like lay eyes? Heck yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
I don't see patients in every office, though. I can only do so much.
Well, that's the big complaint. We want Ward. We want Ward. We want Ward. And tell everybody, tell everybody again, your new office just opened up. Where is it located?
That's right. So we just opened a new office at Watersound Town Center. It's just across the county line, about 3 miles past the Publix on the west end of the beach. And we can see people right away. Takes a few weeks to get in to see me in Panama City. Takes a few weeks to get in to see my partner in Panama City Beach. But if you've got a skin problem and you need to get in right away, you can get right into that new office. And it is top of the line. It is done really, really nice. If you want to kind of see what 21st century medical space looks like, you get over to that Watersound office.
Well, Doc, another thing too. we have a lot of parents listen to us drive their kids to school, middle school, high school, everything else, elementary, whatever. But now's a good time for every parent out there. Your kids have been out in the sun all summer long. They've been going to the beach. They've been going to the pools. They've been having a great time. You've been playing golf. You've been fishing, whatever. Check it out, man. Check yourself out. Look at your kids. Look at the skin. Look it over. Something doesn't look right. This doesn't feel very well. It doesn't feel right on you or your child. I don't care if high school, whatever grade they're in. Get them in to see Dr. Ward. That one visit could save your life.
Absolutely. It's real quick, about 5 minutes. You change into a little patient gown. You can keep your undergarments on, and we just check you out head to toe. It's such an easy screening to do. I know people get a little nervous about seeing the doctor. There's a little bit of that white coat anxiety, but it's definitely important, especially in people over the age of 50 who are fair-skinned. Those are the people who are really high risk for skin cancer.
Absolutely. All right, Doc. I got you got anything you want to go over? Because I got a couple questions for you. But you got anything you want to go over real quick?
No, I bet your FSU fans were really relieved I wasn't on earlier. so they got you. Last week, they were probably like, man, that Ward, he's messing up my FSU high here.
Yeah.
But today, they got the full 15 minutes of FSU stuff and nothing but positivity. So I'm glad to be a little later today.
Well, we appreciate that. All right, let's get into ESPN FPI predictions for 2022. And we're going to look at the Florida Gators. And you and I and Brian are going to look at this, every single one of these games, and see if they're correct, they're wrong, or whatever. Week 1 against Utah. I was hoping it's going to be a day game, but this is what the expert believes is going to happen. They've got the Florida Gators at home. They give Florida 52.1% of beating Utah. Dr. Ward, what do you believe is going to happen? Do you think this is about the right way to predict this 52%? Or do you think go ahead.
I'm going to say it's closer to 60 to 65% because, Utah is in the Pac-12, and they really don't play a lot of games in front of sold-out stadiums. Coming in at nighttime to an SEC environment is probably something those kids have never experienced before. And so Utah's a very talented team. It's not to say I think in a neutral field, a 50-50 would be about right for these two teams. But going to play an SEC environment, I'm really excited for these kids from the Pac-12. It'll probably be the only chance that they get all year long to actually see what real football and real college football is like.
Yeah, I was hoping it'd be a 2:30. I feel better about it if it's 2:30, hot as heck down in Gainesville. But I do think the SEC East flexes muscles. I think Georgia gets it done over Oregon. I do think Florida pulls the upset in Gainesville, his first game there. But I tell you what, Utah's pretty doggone good. What do you think? What do you think, Brian?
I think I wouldn't be surprised if Utah jumped out early. I think they're going to be hyped, but they're coming across country that isn't easy. I don't care when it is. Gainesville is going to be hot that early in the year. I think Florida wins a close, very physical game, which I think will affect Florida for the next week. But I've gone back and forth on this game, but right now I kind of like the Gators kind of maybe even coming from behind and winning a tight game. I think Utah's going to run out of gas a little bit late. I think that heat and humidity and the travel and everything will catch up to them.
Yeah, our quarterback scrambles and scores in the game. Florida wins. All right, week 2. This was going to be a tough football game. Versus Kentucky. This is going to be on September 10th. Florida Gators given a 51.1% of winning the game by the experts. Doc, what say you?
I think it's a very, very similar game to the prior week. Kentucky's not a pushover. This is not your father's Kentucky Kentucky Wildcats. So, but I still think that they're undercounting what what home field advantage means. And these night games, you say, "Oh, I'd rather it be at 2:30." Well, these night games, those students and alumni have had all day to tailgate. They've had all day to get soft.
They're liquored up. Okay, they're liquored up.
And if you think a 2:30 kickoff in the swamp, which actually is Eastern Time Zone, which is really 3:30 kickoff. If you think a 3:30 kickoff is loud, you wait till you see a 7 o'clock kickoff. It's going to be crazy. It's early, and you're right, it's early in the season. So this new Kentucky team with is Levis their QB, or they have a new QB?
He's still there, but the offensive coordinator is gone.
And their offensive line coach, listen, their offensive line coach, I've heard this guy is a stud, and he's now at Alabama, and Alabama players are really happy. So they've lost their offensive line coach.
New OL. So that's a big deal. You got a new offensive line coach,
new OC,
new offensive coordinator, loud environment. I mean, that's gonna. I predict about seven false starts at least. So
all right. So you agree? You agree with the experts? Florida gets it done.
No, I think it's a little low. I think Florida's got a slightly higher chance to win.
Okay, all right. Brian, big physical, smash mouth football. Florida's defense, they better be ready to play.
My worry here for the Gators, I think they're going to come off a very physical, very emotional first game, Billy Napier's first game. I think they may come out a little flat in game 2. I also worry about their depth. If anybody gets banged up in that physical Utah game. I know Kentucky's coaching staff's changing a little bit, but Levis is back, Rodriguez is back. They've got players.
Stoops is back.
I hate to do it with Doc on the phone here. I'm going to lean Kentucky in this game right now, just because they're not playing a Utah quality opponent the first week, whereas Florida is.
I'm going to hold off on this one. It's way too early, but they will be pumped up because of the SEC first week. All right, Doc. Next game versus South Florida. Florida's given an 87.7% chance to win that football game. I think we all think Florida's going to take care of business that day.
Agreed.
Yeah, but I will say this. South Florida probably play their best football game all year. It's the biggest game they've ever played. They're in Gainesville. They're going to be pumped up. They're going to play really hard. They're going to play better than people think, but Florida's just better. All right, now the big one. At Tennessee on September 24th, they give Florida only a 39.8% chance to beat Tennessee, that high-scoring offense. What happens in Knoxville?
So what happens in Knoxville, in my opinion, is that we have beaten Tennessee 16 of the last 17 games, and there's a kind of a mental edge that a team that has beaten another team so badly, so many times. I don't, Tennessee may believe in themselves. I don't know. I know a lot of people are excited about Hooker, but I watched the game against Florida last year, and he stunk it up against us last year. And we weren't very good last year, and we were undisciplined last year. I know I got my Florida Gator hat on, but I like us winning in Knoxville just because, we kind of own them.
All right. Well, I will say this. It's going to be a higher scoring game, people think, too. Offensively, Tennessee, I think, is going to be good. I don't know. That's going to be a tough one. I'll hold off to later on this one. But, Brian, we got about a minute. What do you think?
Oh, this is like poison coming out of my mouth. I think Tennessee's probably going to win this game.
Talking about loud. It's going to be loud.
They've got 3 pretty easy games. They got Ball State, a Pittsburgh without Pickett or Addison, and Akron. It's Florida's first road trip.
Tennessee's undefeated.
I think Tennessee probably wins this game, but God, I hate saying that.
It's going to be a high-scoring game. I do believe that. All right, Doc, don't hang up. We're going to hold you over and finish up when we get back. We got Dr. Ward on the phone. Doc, what's the best way to get up with you?
Give our office a call. It's 850-233-3376. One of 8 area convenient locations near you in Panama City Beach, Port St. Joe, Watersound, Defuniak, Santa Rosa Beach, Mariana, and Bonifay.
First day to school. After you drop your kids off to school, especially if you're heading to Surfside, you're heading to Arnold, get on over there to Blue Sky Express Car Wash. Get that vehicle looking brand new. If you got a brand new car, John, that's a brand new paint job.
That's right.
You don't want just anybody washing and screwing around with it. You want professionals, right?
Thousands of dollars you've paid for that paint.
You want Blue Sky Express Car Wash. You want that thing to keep looking like it's brand new. And don't forget about Newbies. 3 great locations. Dr. Ward does an unbelievable job. Don't forget about Max Fit Sports Nutrition. You want to look better, feel better? Go see Jason Kovaleski. We'll be right back with Dr. Ward looking at Florida's schedule. What does ESPN, FPI, what do the experts think? We'll let you know. 104.3 ESPN, first day of school. Be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida is the Panhandle's destination for the Atlanta Braves.
Got him swinging strike 3.
Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Ronald Acuna Jr. and the Braves are back.
Unbelievable.
And hungry for more. Listen to the world champion Atlanta Braves on a world champion radio station.
Rosario knocked the living daylights out of it.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Tired of being overcharged each month for health insurance or finding out you still have significant out-of-pocket costs from copays or deductibles when you do go see the doctor? Hi, I'm Kevin Shady with KHS & Associates. Our independent insurance agency has helped individuals, families, and even small business employees lower their health care insurance costs with no copays, no 80/20 coinsurance, and no deductibles unless you're hospitalized overnight. Call or text us at 502-386-1128. That's 502-386-1128.
Dear past, present, and future football watchers, you know why we're here. The football season is back! Woo! That means those pregame barbecues with an ice-cold Pepsi, totally back. Your perfectly placed football-watching corner seat, back and comfy as ever. 18 Sundays of touchdown scoring, Hail Mary throwing, ice-cold Pepsi flowing football action. You better believe it's back. And since that's too amazing to miss a single second's worth, Pepsi is officially giving you permission to always put football first. And when we say always, we mean always. Like when your lawn is looking less like a lawn and more like a jungle. If the game's on, then the lawnmower ain't. And those gutters you haven't cleaned, today is not their day. Or maybe those in-laws are back in town. Well, better hope they're football fans because your Sunday is completely booked. Long story short, crack open a Pepsi and don't let anything get between you and your football watching. With love, Pepsi, made for football watching. That's what I like.
Welcome to It's the Coach James Hale Show.
But I believe diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War era.
Live from the J. Michael Studio, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back on this gorgeous Wednesday here in Paradise, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Drive careful. Brian just said drive fast, don't text a lot. No, drive safe, be careful. Kids are back in school. Make sure you're paying attention today. We got the legend on. Dr. Ward's with us this morning. We're talking about the Florida Gators. Right now, Dr. Ward has Florida undefeated. They've got them beating Utah, Kentucky, South Florida, Tennessee. I don't know about Tennessee.
Y'all, I'm a little late to looking at stuff, but I'm shocked. I just looked at this coaches poll, and they got Utah number 8.
Wow. Well, they won the Pac-12. Yeah, they won the Pac-12.
But it's the Pac-12.
I get it.
Loud, people.
I get
I'm
it.
like, they got some teams. They got Arkansas down at number 23, Ole Miss at number 24. I'm like, dude, those teams wiped the floor with Utah. Anyway.
Yeah, there was some.
Kentucky at number 21, which that's fine. They want to give some teams that aren't perennial powers a little love.
Well, Texas got one vote. Texas got a first place vote.
No, number 18 got a first place.
Yeah.
Whoever voted Texas number 1 should lose their voting privileges. I'm sorry.
Agreed.
I mean, I just literally, while during the break, I was like, oh, I meant to check that out, and I just started laughing at it. It was pretty funny.
Okay, I'm looking at something right. He's going to be surprised when Utah beats Florida. Should I mention this guy's name? I don't want to. I don't want to start a fight between Dr. Ward and Ryan Mulvey, so I don't think I should really mention his name. So I'm not going to mention the name who just sent me that text in.
Yeah, good job not doing that.
Yeah, I would never do that to Ryan Mulvey. That would be the wrong thing to do. All right, Doc, let's get back.
The Pac-12 just always flexes its muscles over the SEC. That just happens every year, right?
Well, I will say this. I remember opening up with UCLA when Bama went out there and got spanked. LSU got spanked a couple of years ago.
I was at that game. I don't want to remember it.
Yeah. All right, Doc, let's get to the next one. October 1st.
All right.
October 1st, Florida versus Eastern Washington, 96.9%. I think we all agree that's going to happen. No contest there. Let's get to October 8th. October 8th, Florida. Missouri comes in. At least it's in Gainesville. I feel a lot better playing them at home than on the road. Missouri, Florida's got a 78.3% chance of beating Missouri. What say you?
Book it.
Book it. All right, what do you think, Ryan?
Same way. If it was at Missouri, I'd feel worse. But no, I think Florida gets this one pretty easy.
Now, this one I go back and forth on. You got a brand new coach. We're going to know more when they open up against FSU week 1. But October 15th, the Florida Gators versus LSU. They give Florida only a 44.7% chance against the Fighting Tigers of Baton Rouge. What do you think, Doc? Does LSU come in with Brian Kelly?
No. This is the first game that I actually think Florida may not pull out that we have talked about. The history on this, again, you got to. I believe there's a lot that goes into psychology of schools and talent on the field. So this is the first game on the schedule, guys, where Florida will be matched by talent, okay? Because from a talent on the field standpoint, LSU is equal or superior, and this is the first game on the schedule where that's the case. And it's the first game on the schedule where there is not, a last 10 years, I would say Missouri's kind of got that psychology on Florida, but it's at Florida, and we've got better talent. But LSU's kind of that first game where we don't have a talent edge and we don't have a psychology edge. So I think it's going to be really, really close. I think it could go either way. And I'm gonna go with Florida just because I'm a Florida fan. So I mean, I would not criticize anyone for picking LSU in this game because Florida has no advantage over LSU at this point when we haven't seen either team play.
Remember, this is LSU's head football coach's first season on the road for the first time in Gainesville. What say you?
My only worry is with Florida's depth because this is a lot of games in a row, but it is for LSU too. So it's 50-50. Here's what I look at. Florida's 2 games coming into this are Eastern Washington and Missouri. LSU's are Auburn and Tennessee. So LSU should be pretty beat up coming to Gainesville. I'll take Florida in this game in a big win.
Oh, wow. Got an upset called here. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. October 29th. Florida in Jacksonville for you better love it now because it's going away soon. In Jacksonville.
Can I take a pass on this one?
No, you cannot. We have got to hold you to the fire. This is the big. Now, this is kind of tells you something right here. The experts give Florida. The experts give Florida 9.6% chance to beat Georgia Bulldogs, defending national champs. Florida's not going to beat Georgia. Not next year, I don't think.
Yeah, I got to agree with the experts on this one. I think that is. I am not that much of a homer to pick Florida.
Brian, will it be close?
I took a long time to prepare analysis on this one. So you ready?
Yeah.
Georgia's going to win this game.
Thank you for that in-depth
hours and hours of study.
In-depth searching you did there. That was excellent, man. All right, the next one, November 5th. I don't know about this one now. At Texas A&M, they only give them a 29.7% chance to win. What do you think, Doc?
I agree with the experts. I think that's gonna be an L right there.
Okay, Brian, does Jimbo mess it up?
I don't like A&M this year. I've said forever. I think they're going 8-4 again, but kind of where it lays, I have a feeling there's going to be a lag coming out of that Georgia game too. They're going to be hype going in. I think Georgia's going to put it to them. So going to College Station, yeah, this is probably a loss for the Gators here.
All right. November 12th, everybody talking about how much improved South Carolina's going to be. Their home versus, Florida's home versus South Carolina. They give the Gators a 69.9% to win. I kind of think I would pick now. If I had to pick right now today, I'd pick Florida. Who you got, Doc? What do you think is going to happen?
Florida, we got talent. We got psychology. We got a better coach. It's Florida all the way there.
I would agree with all that, except I do like Beamer. I just think everything came together beautifully. They had a great team chemistry last year at South Carolina that I'm not sure is going to be there, even with their new talent. I don't see it out of South Carolina this year. Everybody else does.
Everybody's
I don't
getting
see
love.
It.
I don't get it.
So
Maybe
I think
from Oklahoma.
I think they're going to struggle. I got the Gators here.
What do you think it is, Rattler coming over there?
There's more talent. There's clearly more talent than they had last year, but there was something about that chemistry and that group that he fostered last year that really played for each other, and down the stretch, that won them some football games they shouldn't have won.
Players like him, man.
I don't see that this year. I think they're going to struggle.
All right, in a tough one, in a toss-up, November 19th, at Vandy. At Vandy, there'll be more Gators at the game than Vandy's. Everybody go have a great weekend in Nashville. That's a great experience. Go to the game. Come on back home and get ready for the big one. What do you think, Doc? They got the experts say Florida wins. Their percentage is 86.8.
I'm going to point something out here, too, because we're being talking about the next game. And I think having Vanderbilt is kind of like having a scrimmage game. So I think this game, obviously Florida wins it. But I think this game also makes Florida really, really good going into the next week's game, which we'll talk about.
All right. Now, Doc, have you been up to their stadium? Have you gone there to Nashville, had a good time, and watch Florida play?
Absolutely. It's fun. It is a fun place to be the away team.
Yeah. We need all the Gators go up there. I think you get tickets pretty easy.
Oh, yeah. Well, the reason most Vanderbilt graduates are successful financially is all during college they make a ton selling their tickets to visiting fans. I mean, they've got a leg up financially on everybody else. Now, it's a terrible stadium, though. But, yeah, Vandy, they lose bad to the Gators.
All right, the last one. They go to Florida State, which will be played on a Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. We can all watch Ole Miss, Mississippi State on Thanksgiving. Friday, we can all watch Florida State. Saturday, we'll all watch the early game, Ohio State, Michigan, the late game, Alabama, Auburn. What do you think, Doc? Who gets it done? Does Napier win his first time in Tallahassee? Or is this we shooting the coach at Florida State if he loses? What's going to happen?
I think that...
wait, time out. Let me interrupt you. The experts give Florida a 44.3% chance to beat the Seminoles. Yes.
Wow.
44.3.
That's low.
The experts know nothing about the talent on the field, which favors Florida. They know nothing about the psychology, which also heavily favors Florida. And they don't know that Jordan Travis just isn't a very good quarterback. So I honestly, I hope Florida State is favored in this game, because it'll be a great bet for people who bet on football for Florida to go into Tallahassee, come out with a win. Probably, in my opinion, I don't even think it's that close.
Gotta see him, Doc.
Hey,
Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast.
I'm going to make this pick because I'm 6 months from my next appointment with Dr. Ward. This is a heart pick. I just have a feeling this is the year. There's no logic behind it. There's no analysis. in Doak Campbell. I think it's going to be a must-win for FSU. I just have a feeling they get it done this year, and Florida ends up on my books 7-5.
Well, the experts have Florida finished up 8-4, and Doc, we run out of time, man. Hey, real quick, Doc, before we get out of here, are you coming in next week, or are you going to call in?
I don't know, man. It's hard to know what my schedule is going to be like. So I'm gonna be like Florida State's recruitment, and I'm gonna not commit.
There you go. Sounds good.
You commit, it doesn't mean anything anyway.
I'm gonna commit to not committing.
All right, Doc. What's the best way to get up if you got any kind of problem, any kind of issues? What do we got to do?
Give us a holler, 850-233-3376. We are in Panama City Beach, Port St. Joe, Santa Rosa Beach, Water Sound, Funiac, Bonifay, and Mariana. So if you're hearing us, we got an office near you. Give us a call.
All right, Doc. Thank you, buddy. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.
El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. I always go there before I go see Dr. Ward. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good when I leave there. Happy hours 4 to 7. The best Mexican food you'll get anywhere. The newest and best Mexican restaurant on beautiful Panama City Beach, right across from the Navy base. Go try it out. You will absolutely love it. Thursday nights. Every other week, I think they have a band. They do an excellent job. Sometimes, I take that back. Sometimes it's on Friday. But get out there. You'll love it, and tell them Coach sent you. Don't forget, today's Wednesday, world-famous J. Michael Spaghetti. You will absolutely love it. Try it. I wish he'd let you try it before you buy it, but I tell you what, it's really, truly outstanding. Paparazzi Gourmet Deli, 3 restaurants in one. The best. Brian, I take Brian over there. I get like 1 or 2 pieces. He's got it down so fast, it's unbelievable. Paparazzi Gourmet Deli, the best pizza.
And then you gain the weight.
Yeah, I'm gaining. I got the paradise cake after that. He's eating the pizza. I jump on the cake real quick. You'll love it, I'm telling you. 3 restaurants for one. John does a wonderful job. Retired police officer. That alone, you should go support him for just that. We love all you police officers out there, and we have got a great first day of school. Everybody will be safe. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We get back, Alabama Crimson Tide.
This is your captain speaking. Thank you for flying with ESPN Northwest Florida. Please return to your seats, buckle up, and prepare for launch.
It will lay down. Base hit. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
The defending world champion Atlanta Braves are sponsored by Bill Burr Kia, Beltway Portable Buildings, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Ellis Agency Insurance, and ESPN Northwest Florida. And we apologize for any turbulence you've experienced this season with the Atlanta Braves.
Mid-South Lumber has new owners. Stop in and visit Ann and Dave. They're on site every day to make you a priority. They're not the typical big box store, and customer service is their #1 priority. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years. Transform your home with James Hardy Siding. Durability, fire resistant, sustainability. James Hardy Color Plus is virtually maintenance free and comes with a 30-year warranty. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City.
Sykes Concrete has been in business in this area since 1947, and 3 generations later, they're still going strong. See Sykes Concrete for dirt, sand, rock, and concrete. They can handle any size job from the smallest to the largest. Sykes Concrete pays CDL truck drivers some of the highest wages in Bay County, making $50,000 to $75,000 a year, including holiday and vacation pay, plus health insurance. See Hugh Sykes at Sykes Concrete, 8030 Highway 77 on the right, just north of Southport Elementary School.
United by sports. WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DN Mariana. Powered by Pepsi. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, this is Tim.
Do y'all sell bait?
Yes, we seasonally stock live shrimp, live bull minnows, live sand fleas, live fiddler crabs, earthworms, night crawlers, crickets. We also stock frozen shrimp, sand fleas, mullet, squid, pre-rigged ballyhoo, bonita, stingray, cigar minnows, Boston mackerel, Spanish mackerel, and a few other miscellaneous baits. It's worth the drive to buy premium locally sourced bait from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
Put down your natural light. It's time for the Alabama Update. The Alabama Update, weekday mornings at 8. on the Coach James Hale Show at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Roll Tide. Roll. I say Alla, you say Bama. Alla.
Bama.
I say roll, you say Tide. Roll.
Tide.
I say bear, you say Bryant. Bear.
Bryant.
There you go, baby. I ain't doing anymore. Alabama Crimson Tide updates brought by Stevenson Air Conditioning. Nobody, I'm telling you, nobody does a better job than Stevenson Air Conditioning. I don't care what time it is, Brian, day or night, hot or cold, it doesn't matter. They'll get there and they'll take care of all your problems. I think it's about every one of our guys have bought brand new units from Stevenson Air Conditioning. I love going through Bay Point, doing my little walk, and I see all those beautiful Stevenson Air Conditioning trucks. Yep. Incredible. All right, Alabama Crimson Tide, they are ranked number 1 again. No big deal, man. You ought to be happy. Most times when they're ranked number 1 preseason coaches poll, I think they've only won like 1 national championship. So,
rat poison.
So, yes, rat poison. So all you people that don't like it, you should love it because it's bad. It's bad for us. It's bad for Crimson Tide fans. All right, Alabama. There's a big article, and listen, it's not a big deal to me. They were talking about Nick Saban and this new book that's coming out. Let me find my notes. Saban brought tears to his eyes after the Kick 6 game. November 30th, 2013, at Auburn. Alabama's going after 3 straight national championships. Never been done. Bama could have got it done. It's been done. We just didn't officially get it back in 1966. But anyway, Alabama, the game's tied 28-28. There was 1 second left. They threw a little pass. Was it Yeldon that caught it?
I'm not listening.
Runs out of bounds. The game's over. Going to overtime. Auburn people are happy. Everybody's happy. And then they go, no. We got 1 second left. And then everybody thought it's going to be a Hail Mary pass. No, he brings the field goal kicker in. The long field goal kicker. He kicks the ball. It looks like it's going to be good. No, it's short. They catch the ball on the 1 yard. 1 yard from being out of the end zone. 1 yard. They return. Was it Davis?
Chris Davis.
They return it 109 yards for a touchdown. It's over. It's done. It's gone.
Blow the whistle. It's history.
Turn out the lights. It's over. Auburn pulls the greatest game in history of college football, the biggest upset, you name it. It's always Auburn. We can't win at Auburn. If they're ranked, we're ranked. We can't beat them. We can't beat them.
Why is he crying?
Thinking about how much money I lost when I broke my television.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Brian. Why is this a big deal if he did? All right, one of the players came in. I think it was Jones, Christian Jones. I think it was him that came in and said, yeah, half the guys was crying. Everybody else is teared up. It was heartbreak. Hell, everybody in the country, as an Alabama fan, was crying too. I was crying. Everybody was upset.
I remember it distinctly. I didn't break my television, but what I did do, I remember sitting there watching it by myself, and the instant that play happened, I just clicked the TV off, and I sat in silence for about 10 minutes. That is just, it was a gut punch. I can't explain it any other way.
Yeah.
You didn't expect it, but as soon as he caught the ball, I just went, oh, God. And I knew you could run it back, but, I mean, just as soon as it just something about it.
Yeah,
and
one guy missed him, it was over.
After the miracle they had against Georgia.
That whole year for Auburn was unbelievable.
You could just tell it was going to be one of those things, and it was just a gut punch. I can't explain it any other way. But
it was heartbreaking.
Miserable.
I cried along with Saban if he did actually cry. They said they walked in, there were tears in his eyes. Heck, man, I don't blame him. Everybody was upset about the game. No big deal. What happened after that? Alabama went to the Sugar Bowl. I went there and watched that game. They didn't show up. They got spanked by Oklahoma, 45-31. We got a caller. Good morning.
Hey, it's Mike Cube. How you doing, Coach?
Mike, is this Mike?
That's it. Mike Shula, Mike DeBose, and whatever the other guy.
Well, did you cry? Did you cry with Saban after that game?
No, and I don't really remember him crying, but he realized he had gotten out coached, and he said, damn, that's the last time I'll use walk-ons on a kick team. Anyway, I can't believe you're using Alabama update time to reminisce about such pleasant memories.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Well, hey, they had an article about it, so I thought I'd go over it. It's that new book that's coming out.
Oh.
Coaching Principles
I have to learn how to read, went to Troy, I find it interesting. You know what you and Eddie and I have in common?
I hope nothing.
Oh my
No, listen to this. It's not all that much a commonality, but we all three, I shouldn't say both, all three of us graduated from fine institutions of higher learning, but we're fans of our native state teams, I believe.
Right.
Didn't Eddie go to Air Force Academy?
Right. Yeah. Right.
And you went to
Southern
William
Miss.
Carey, Southern Miss.
Southern Miss. Same
and
thing.
I went to Troy.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, y'all went down to William Carey to see if there were any nice
Is that a
basketball
dig
there.
at you, Coach?
Yeah, it is. Listen, let me tell you what happened to me at Alabama. Bear Bryant made
They
one of
watched
the
the
worst
tape.
mistakes they ever did in his life. Him and Mal Moore, they said we're gonna let him go. You can come walk on. The biggest mistake they ever made, as far as you know.
The biggest mistake ever was they filmed one of your games and they got to see it.
Southern
That was the problem.
Southern Mississippi offered the scholarship. Alabama didn't.
Well, I'm glad you went there. It's a fine place, and they had a big enough football stadium that years ago Alabama would actually go there to play home games. I mean, play away games, but it's kind of Bryant Denny kind of outgrew y'all's place. But I wanted to share another Alabama interesting thing. Well, leaving Legion Field in 1985 after Tennessee had defeated Alabama for I don't know, maybe the fourth straight time. I'm not sure. This 12-year-old kid looks up at his daddy and says, "Daddy, are we ever going to beat Tennessee?" And I'm dying because before the 4-year run or whatever it was, y'all had beaten Tennessee 10 straight times or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that gave me great joy. That kid never knew it. Now he's been poisoned by the success of the Saban era. But that day, I had to sit in the Alabama student section because I got a cheap ticket. I'm Mr. Cheap, and my brother was a student, and my baby boy brother, he's a student in Alabama, and so I snuck in the student section. And our other brother's there. He's a Paul Bryant worshiper.
Good man.
Coach
Good
was
man.
dead. Well, I mean, I respected Coach Bryant, but I didn't mind him losing. Now, here's the funniest thing I said that day. I'd had to keep my tongue because I was for Tennessee, and Tony Robinson from Tallahassee got hurt, and they replaced him with Coach Dickey's boy. And my brother whispered to me, said, "Don't worry, he's as good as Robinson. He just plays differently." And then my ex-wife was there, and she couldn't give a crap less about football. She's looking at the dresses that that the sorority ladies are in. Well, as we're leaving, apparently a couple of fraternity brothers or whatever got into it, and one of them, this is in the end zone, one of them knocks the fool out of the other one, sends him tumbling down the aluminum bleachers, and I looked at my brother who didn't go to Alabama. I said, "Well, that's the best lick of Alabama boys thrown all day." Kind of cynical. But, love, you mean it. I thought you were going to be absent today. I was going to call in and talk Auburn stuff. But
No. I'll be out next week. I got to go to Kentucky next. Mike, go back. Let's go. I got to figure you out. You had brothers that went to Alabama, correct?
No, I had one brother that went to Alabama, but he also went to Tennessee. I want to really cover my tracks. And the brother that liked Coach Bryant, he failed out of a junior college in Tennessee when they sent him to improve his grades, and he made 4 Fs and a D the first semester.
Okay.
So he didn't make it. But y'all don't figure me out. I'll tell you later. You got my name down there. You can Google it if you haven't thrown away my rib coupons. But I don't want to make it about me. But I've got a
where did you grow
background
up
in
at?
Intercollegiate pickleball. Let me just say I coached that, okay?
Where did you grow up at? Where'd you grow up at?
I grew up in Middle Tennessee. And
okay.
I told you that. I grew up in the greatest SEC college town that doesn't have a football team in it, Nashville.
That's right. Okay.
And we would buy cheap season tickets to Vandy because this is before ESPN. You can go out there, we're degenerate gamblers too, and we go out there and we could hear the scores during the game. But I've had some good seats at Vandy thanks to their poor play. I mean, I'd buy a youth ticket or something. Hey, I saw Switzer coach Oklahoma there, and one of my friends from the black neighborhood, he snuck in. There was more police presence. He's my hero. This kid I used to play street ball against. And he ran through the baseball diamond. They had cops spread out about it, but he jumped the fence. They really had the Dudley Field Patrol, but he ran. He can't do it now because there's a stadium there now, a baseball stadium. But he ran through the infield and outfield, dodging cops, went over the place. And then he went and hung out the concession vendor's locker for a while, and then got out and we saw him and said, "Hey, man, great job." But that's of course, that was the greatest memory for a Vandy fan that day because Oklahoma beat them 24-3.
Dang, that was pretty close for them.
It was, and I think J.C. Watts might have been quarterbacking. But let me tell you, the most interesting play is why Switzer, he's in Vandy territory, he calls a out pass. You know, he could have not passed all day. And Reggie Calvin, who was a pretty darn good player, Vandy had a good defensive backfield then, he intercepts it, and Reggie Calvin was fast, and he's headed for the end zone. Well, the offside halfback runs him down and tackles him about on the 20, and Vandy has to settle for a field goal. In fact, I think they went up 3-0. Well, I didn't really catch on, but that's a great move by a wishbone halfback who's on the other side of the field from the play. But I believe his name was, and I've got to check this out with the records, I believe his name was Billy Sims.
Yeah.
So he could do that. Now, he was not known then. This is pre-Heisman Trophy and all that. Maybe his first big game. But you can see a lot of great action at Dudley Field, but it's usually the other team. Like I saw Boomer Esiason bring back Maryland with like a minute 8 left from the 20.
Hang on, Mike.
Go ahead. I'll let y'all go. Too much ruminating. Let's talk about the future. They're knocking heads there, or actually not supposed to be head-to-head. Well, I would rather hear about the future, okay? Because I got to bet on it. If I could bet on the past, I'd be rich. Bye.
Mike is on the phone with us, but Mike's like us. He loves Stevenson Air Conditioning. Number one, not even close. They always win. They never lose. Stevenson Air Conditioning, you have any kind of problem, again, it doesn't matter what time it is, call Stevenson Air Conditioning. We got a brand new thing being built right now. Guess who we went with? Stevenson Air Conditioning. We only deal with the best here, and they are the best. Don't forget about today. It's Wednesday, world famous J. Michael Spaghetti. So if you're taking the kids to school, you don't know what you can do for lunch today. You finally got rid of them. They're back in the building. You don't have to watch them all the time. Get down to J. Michael's. You'll love it. It'll be packed out. But you know why? Because it's that good. Tonight, it'll be packed out at J. Michael's Restaurant. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's what's happening.
It's Dave & Buster's back-to-school event this Saturday from 3 to 5. There's going to be free backpacks filled with school supplies, a back-to-school photo booth, plus power card giveaways every 30 minutes and more, much more. Dave & Buster's back-to-school event this Saturday starting at 3 with 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Mid-South Lumber has new owners. Stop in and visit Ann and Dave. They're on site every day to make you a priority. They're not the typical big box store, and customer service is their #1 priority. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years. Transform your home with James Hardy Siding. Durability, fire resistant, sustainability. James Hardy Color Plus is virtually maintenance-free and comes with a 30-year warranty. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby. The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Is that the sound of an ooey gooey, cheesy, crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously, but as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Tiger fans, join us weekday mornings at 8:15. It's the Bay Point Golf Auburn Update on the Coach James Hale Show at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Whoa! Eagle! Hey, I was going somewhere with the Alabama update. Mike just blew it out of the water, screwed it up. I apologize to Mike for messing up my wonderful Alabama update. But anyways, Saban's got a new book. He didn't write it, but they got a new book about Saban, his secrets, and all this kind of crap. But anyway, it'd be good reading. I can't wait till he writes one. But Brian, you've got something that's. I wish we could do this here in Bay County.
Yeah, in honor of Back to School Day, I wanted to read off. They've got a class of 2023 senior raffle going on. Now, this is in Wyoming, and that'll be made evident here soon. But I'm going to go through this real quick. 6th prize homemade quilt. Okay, that's kind of what you see at these.
Yeah.
A 5th prize, a staycation dinner hotel package. Dinner for 2 at Sapporo's, a one-night stay in the jacuzzi suite at the Comfort Inn. Oh, my goodness
That's
gracious.
what she said.
4th prize, a Flaming Gorge package.
A what?
That sounds a 2-day guided bus tour.
Well, go back. What was the other one?
Red Canyon Lodge.
What was the other one, though? Go back. Flaming something?
Flaming Gorge package. That's what I was reading.
That might be a Phil Cobb deal. I don't know what that is.
I don't know. Yeah, Phil's had things like that before.
Yeah.
3rd prize, $500 cash. Heck yeah,
Okay,
I'll
I like
take that all day long.
That's pretty good.
2nd prize, a processed whole pig.
Oh,
now we're
yeah.
talking.
Woo! Rudy's
Give me
Barbecue
that
on
pig.
Bat Beach Road.
But number 1, this is first prize, senior high school raffle. A 2022 Stag 15 tactical 16-inch rifle in 5.56 millimeter anodized.
There you go.
Brand new model.
The
so
American
you can
dream.
shoot
Yes,
your
sir.
dinner.
There you go. You can't beat that. What state's this in?
Wyoming. Land of the free.
Wyoming, baby. Absolutely.
How about that?
Unbelievable. I could say something to get me in trouble, but I won't. I won't do it. Where are we at? Auburn, Brian. We got to talk about the Auburn Tigers. We got to talk about Bay Point Golf. I was there yesterday, saw Brian, saw John Warren, saw Scott Rossman. We had a great time down at Bay Point. Club 72, the place to be, man. Cannot wait till next time we have bingo. But if you love golf, get to Bay Point. Ryan will be in here Friday running the show for the next 2 Fridays. He does a great job. Got a great show set up for you. Can't wait to hear that. What is going on with Auburn? They play the toughest schedule in college football. It's incredible that now the teams they're going to play that will be ranked in the top 25 of the country. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I believe Auburn's going to have a pretty good year. But I want to do this. Before I get into that, I'll save that for tomorrow. I want to hit you up with this. The history of the Auburn Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
Question, John. You can answer if you love, or Brian, jump in here.
I won't even look
The
at your
top
cheat
10,
sheet.
don't cheat, the top 10 most played opponents by Auburn and the record. Who is number 10? Dun, 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 dun. They're in the SEC East. No one goes to their games, and we've been talking about them.
Vanderbilt.
Vandy. How many times has Auburn played Vandy? 43 times.
That's it?
43 times. That's it. What's the record? How does Auburn dominate Vandy over the years? What is the series record, all-time record?
43 games?
Yes.
40.
40 and 3, is that what you said? That's a pretty good guess.
35, 7, and 1.
Wrong. This is going to shock you. The correct answer is all-time record. Auburn is 21 and 21 with one tie.
What?
Against Vandy. Unbelievable.
No wonder we
Thank you,
didn't
Doug
get that.
Barfield.
Yeah, thank you, Doug. Number 9, who is the second team? They're in the SEC West, the second most team played by the Auburn Tigers. Who is it? They're in the great state of Mississippi. It's the Ole Miss Rebels.
Yeah.
Ole Miss Rebels. How many times have they played? 46 times Auburn has played Ole Miss. Auburn leads the series 35-11. Number 8. Who is the 8th team most played Auburn's played? And they're not in the SEC. They're
Georgia
national.
Tech.
They're good guess. They're national power. They're ranked in the top 4 right now. Clemson.
Wow.
Clemson Tigers. Auburn leads Clemson 34-15 and 2. Number 7, most played opponent from the SEC East. And Brian, you love them. Not. You do not love them. You hate them.
The Vomiteers of Tennessee.
Yes, sir. Tennessee Volunteers. Auburn has played them 54 times. Auburn leads the series 29-22 and 3. Now, and coming in at number 6 in the SEC West, who is it?
LSU.
Great pick. LSU. Who leads the series?
I think Auburn still leads
All
that
right.
series.
They have played 56 times. Auburn has played LSU 56 times. LSU leads the series 31, 24, and 1. Wow. Coming in at number 5. Who is it? And they're out of the SEC East.
That's going to be the Florida Gators.
Absolutely right. Amen corner. Remember Pat Dye used to call it? They used to play Florida every year. End of the season. Alabama, Florida, and Georgia every single year. That was a man schedule back then. And Pat Dye can handle it. All right, they have played Florida. Remember this. They played LSU out of the West 56 times. They played Tennessee 54. They played Ole Miss out of the West 46. They have played the Florida Gators 84 times. Wow. 84 times. Auburn leads the series 43, 39, and 2. All right, coming in at number 4. Who is it, Brian? Who is it, John? Number 4. Auburn Tigers. It's the SEC West opponent.
I'm almost tempted to say Alabama because there were years where they didn't play. I'll say Alabama
Crimson Tide.
There were years where they didn't play.
Sir, you are correct. They have played each other 84 times. Alabama leads the series 84, 37, and 1.
Legislature had to get involved.
Yes, they did. All right, number 3. Who is number 3? Dun-dun. They have been mentioned earlier by Brian.
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech, number 3.
One.
How many times they played Georgia Tech? This is crazy.
90.
They have played Georgia Tech 92 times.
Wow.
92 times. Auburn leads 47, 41, and 4.
It's the old John Heisman Bowl.
Now, this one I know you're going to get, Brian. Number 2, who has Auburn played the most? Number 2.
Well, I think I know who number 1 is. So number 2.
If you don't get this right, I quit. Where did you go to school?
They played that many times?
Yes.
Mississippi State?
Mississippi State,
wow.
Second most team.
That's why Auburn's all-time. That's why Auburn's all-time record's so good.
Yeah, I think Alabama's number 1 team they played the most is Mississippi State. I do believe that.
How about that?
Number 2 is the Mississippi
State
that. Bulldogs. They played Georgia Tech 92 times. They played Mississippi State 95 teams. Auburn has dominated the series 62, 30, and 3.
Mississippi State's got a losing record in inter-squad games.
Now, this is the oldest rivalry in the South. And I hate it that they changed. I hate Auburn changed the game on it. I loved it back at the end of the year. You look forward to it. I don't even know when it's played this year. I do. It's
middle
right
of the
in front of me. But this is who it is. We all know who it is. Ryan, go out there and tell all of our great fans.
Georgia. Great rivalry.
Yep. Georgia and Auburn have played. Remember this now. They played Alabama 86 times.
Well over 100 times.
Yeah. They've played Georgia 126 times. Georgia leads Auburn. They lead Auburn 62, 56, and 8. 62, 56, and 8. Auburn Tigers.
His win-loss numbers are surprisingly even. All of them.
Pretty close.
Yeah, it just kind of depends when you played who. Like, they may have caught Vandy, in certain down years and something and not played them when they were good. Georgia Tech used to be a power, so that I understand going back so far. And that was a big rivalry for a long time. Of course, Atlanta's not that far, and John Heisman coached both and all like that. I did not realize they played Mississippi State that many times and Ole Miss that few. That's odd because back, pre what, 70-something? I mean, they pretty much played almost every SEC team every year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Conference was what, 10 teams?
Yeah.
So you play almost everybody every year.
Alabama didn't play Georgia very much. Auburn didn't play? I can't remember who it was. Auburn didn't play that much. I can remember they had double hitters in Birmingham. It'd be Auburn, Tennessee, Alabama, somebody.
But I did know that Auburn, Alabama had many years where they did not play.
They played early. Then they broke it off for 42 years. They started back after 58. I think Auburn.
Mike.
All right, we got to take a break right now. Let's talk about this real quick.
And then we got Mark.
And we got Mark McLeod coming on, so we're going to be able to take that. All right, let's talk real quick about some of our great people. We want to talk about Bay Point Golf. Thank you, Bay Point Golf, so much, so much for the Auburn update. The Tigers are going to be – I think Auburn's going to surprise people this year. I'll talk more about Auburn tomorrow. I'm looking at their schedule a little bit. I had some things today I didn't get to go over Auburn. I had a lot on Alabama I didn't get to get in. but because we got the great Mark McLeod coming up at 8:30. All right, let's talk about some other great sponsors we have, like Dr. Chad Mitchell. 23 years this year going on Bay County sidelines, taking care of the athletes. He'll take care of you also. Don't forget about Rudy's Barbecue. The best barbecue anywhere, baby. That Texas barbecue is right here in Northwest Florida. Go try it. You'll love it. Ethan Boyd does a great job.
Breakfast tacos.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, man. You got all three of them.
You're listening now. Drop the kids off. Go get you some breakfast tacos.
God.
You deserve them.
That's a pretty good idea right there. Also, don't forget, now, you want to have a fundraiser, you want something catered, it's Rudy's Barbecue. It's incredible. No doubt about that. Also, Blue Sky Express Car Wash. You can get your car washed after you drop them off this morning. You want to look brand new, you go to Blue Sky Express Car Wash. They do an incredible job. Max Visforce Nutrition. It looks better, feel better. Go see Jason Kovaleski. And if you're going to go close on any kind of real estate, you demand, hey, look, it's my money. You want to go to do the deal? We're going to use Chuck Tucker. We're going to use only the best. We don't want any surprises. We don't want any screw-ups. We want the best. We want Chuck Tucker, South Oak, title and closing, Chuck Tucker #1. We'll be right back, we hope, with the great Mark McLeod. All you want to know about the Florida Gators.
I would not. I feel good. I knew that I would not. So good. So good. I got you.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdogs.
I still think the Braves are dangerous. We didn't pitch well, we didn't hit well, we didn't field well. That's typically going to get your ass beat, and that's what happened.
Old school, coming with it today.
I've had a little Southern Tail cocktail, so I'm just feeling good right here.
It's 5 o'clock day, isn't it? It is.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sykes Concrete has been in business in this area since 1947, and 3 generations later, they're still going strong. See Sykes Concrete for dirt, sand, rock, and concrete. They can handle any size job from the smallest to the largest. Sykes Concrete pays CDL truck drivers some of the highest wages in Bay County, making $50,000 to $75,000 a year, including holiday and vacation pay, plus health insurance. See Hugh Sykes at Sykes Concrete, 8030 Highway 77 on the right, just north of Southport Elementary School.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida are proud members of the Panama City Beach Chamber. We'd like to welcome the newest members to the Beach Chamber.
Barbara Busini, LLC, Alex Air Conditioning, G&J Commercial Laundry, Keller Williams Success Realty, and Leather and Lace Wedding and Event Company.
Congratulations from the area's only sports radio station, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Island Fin Poke Restaurants presents Extreme Impact Wrestling Battle Stars. August 13th at the Travelodge Sports and Event Center, also known as the Killing Fields of XIW. Doors open at 4. Bell time is 5 p.m. sharp. Impact Wrestling star to natural Chase Stevens, AIWF World Champion Damian Wayne, XIW Champion Jackson Slade. 225 Shalimar Street, Panama City Beach, Florida, August 13th. XIW is not sports entertainment. We are professional wrestling at its best. The Attitude Era has returned. VIP tickets are $20, includes dinner and a drink. August 13th. And I'll be there.
Sick grout? Down and out? Call the Grout Doctor and they'll come up with a prescription that will cure any ailment your grout may have. Just because it's sick looking doesn't mean it needs to be replaced. They can clean it, change the color, or even repair it. You just have to give the Grout Doctor a call at 850-367-4330 to schedule a free checkup. 850-367-4330. Like the Grout Doctor Panama City FL on Facebook to unlock a special gift with your first service.
I'd like to introduce.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show.
Milk was a bad choice.
If I could just have your attention.
60% of the time, it works every time.
If anyone wants to switch jobs, let me know.
Live from the J. Michael Studio.
I have many leather-bound books.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Go Gators! It's Wednesday. It's J. Michael Spaghetti. It's the legendary Mark McLeod. We got him right now. Everything you need to know about the Florida Gators, he can tell you. Mark, how you doing today?
Hey, doing well, Coach. Good morning.
Hey, football's getting ready to get cranked up. We're getting closer and closer. So everybody wants to know, what's the best way to listen to you?
1021news.com at 4 o'clock Eastern, and then on Twitter at McLeod Live. We hopefully now they're in pads, have some things to tweak.
Is that WTOT?
I'm sorry?
The call letters, WTOT? Is that station?
No, the call letter is WFOY.
FOY, okay.
All right, Mark. Let's get into Florida Gators. You did get to meet with Coach I believe yesterday, right?
Yeah, we did. We got him yesterday morning.
What did he have to say?
Well, first scrimmage is Saturday. That's good. We're going to get to go out there for just a few minutes. Well, they'll probably let us see warm-ups and about 5 or 8 minutes of some individual drills is what we were told, and then that'll be it. They'll probably kick us out after that. But some good notes from Billy Napier. Florida's sold more season tickets than they have in the past 5 years, which I think speaks volumes for the Gator Nation, especially in light of our nation being in a recession. Right. You have student tickets are now sold out. Sunday, the Gators will be moving into the Hefner Center, which is a standalone football facility. And interesting comments from Coach Napier. He said, everybody wants to talk about recruiting and how the aspect of how having that center is going to help us in recruiting. But he said it's more important to our player experience overall. He said it screams commitment and the efficiency of how we're going to improve as an organization. So those are his thoughts on the Hefner Center. But he and the team, he said, are very excited about moving in there. He talked about the quarterback play, just 5 days, and obviously they've been in shells, but he said, I think we have 2 players that can play winning football, and we're getting the third one ready. He had a lot of praise for Anthony Richardson. He talked about how Richardson has improved his understanding of the verbiage, his role in communicating to the offense, and he said he's been a bit more concise there with those things, and that's something they needed to see improve. But he also said that they've seen him be more accurate now, and he's seemingly becoming more comfortable with the entire offense overall. And again, and he mentioned this twice, Coach, leadership. Mm-hmm. He talked about his role as a leader on the offense. And, Richardson's not a rah-rah guy. He's been kind of a play it close to the vest. I'm do what I do. He's not the rah-rah guy, but they've really talked to him about communicating and opening up and talking more. And so that was something that he mentioned to us twice. So he also mentioned something that I thought was very interesting. He said the old adage of everybody being on the same page, he said, well, I think we're making progress to being in the same sentence, if that makes sense. Okay. So he's letting us know there's a lot of work to do for Anthony Richardson, but they're getting there. They're getting there, and he likes where he's at. As far as mechanically, his feet are in the right place because he said he seems to be processing things quicker and faster now. And he said the important thing, too, is the ball's going to the right place. So some good stuff on Anthony Richardson. He praised Jack Miller, the backup, for making good decisions. He said they gave him a handful of plays 2 days ago with the first-team offense, and he said he really did some nice things. And he talked about the importance of having Miller out there, that here's a guy that's a freshman. He's got 4 years to play at Florida, and that, he's really been a leader on that team and trying to bring everybody together. So some really good things from Coach Billy Napier on Florida. And there's more that we can get to from yesterday's press conference as well.
Mark, let me ask you about Jack Miller. Can he run, or is he more of a passer, or can he do it all?
He can do it all. Obviously, his running ability isn't probably as effective as an Anthony Miller.
Yeah.
But when you go back and look at his high school stats, they're pretty impressive in terms of running the football.
Okay.
I want to say I saw where he ran for 1,000 yards.
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. It was, he had just an unbelievable stat line in terms of passing and running, and I thought, good Lord, that was a wide open offense if he did all that. So,
did they mention the freshman quarterback at all?
Yeah, they did. Well, they did. He's got a long way to go.
Okay.
He's got a long way to go. But the guy they did mention is Jalen Kitten, and he's that third quarterback he's talking about.
Okay.
Of course, Kitten, his dad's in the pros, and he said Kitten is doing a nice job. He said he really likes where he's at. He said, actually, among all the quarterbacks, he has demonstrated the most improvement as of now. But he had a long way to go. But he did say that he's not quite ready to go play winning football.
Mark, what do you know about the transfer from Georgia, defensive lineman Brandon Cox Jr.? What's the deal with him? Is he an elite player? What are you hearing about him?
I don't think he's an elite player. He's a 5-star coming out of high school.
Right.
Went to Georgia. Things weren't working out there. He left. And he's been at Florida now for a while, but really hasn't demonstrated that. Now, I guess I'll throw a little caveat to that. At the end of last year, you saw him start doing some things, finally, that I think if elite players really need to do. And that is lead. Get out there and make some things happen and lead and motivate your teammates. And haven't seen as much of that from him as I would like to, but it was good to see at the end of the year. He has been working with a nutritionist to change his body. That was one of the issues with him, and he talked about that openly a few weeks ago and said, I needed to change my body. I needed to do some things. So he's now been working with a nutritionist. Billy Napier seems very happy with the changes that he made. We talked with the two co-defensive coordinators about him at Florida Media Day last week, and one of them commented on him and said he's turning into the guy that we thought he could be. He is turning into that leader, and he's doing it by changing his body. He now looks very different than when we got here, and he's buying in or has bought in, and he's just doing things the right way, the way a leader should do them.
Let me ask you something else. I read an article, and I can't remember who wrote it or anything like that, but Billy Napier was addressing discipline. Florida last year, all the penalties. Think back last year, all the things we saw kind of fell apart midway through the season, but all the penalties, things like that. And, he coached with Saban. That's something you don't see Alabama do very often, to get penalties. Same thing with Dabo at Clemson. What do you think? What does he bring? What is he doing differently? Have you heard anything what he does if they do something stupid in practice, they punish him, whatever? I know Mickey Andrews at Florida State, if they blew a coverage, did anything stupid on defense, he ran them to death. What do you hear? How does he address the discipline to get this team more disciplined?
That's a good question, and something I'm sure we'll find out once they put on pads. And, of course, that was yesterday was day one. So maybe our next opportunity with Napier, which will probably be maybe early next week, we'll get an opportunity to talk to him about some of those things and find out what he's doing, maybe some of the players. But, he told us yesterday about talking about penalties. Look, Florida players, all the Florida players were evaluated on a game-by-game basis from the 2021 season. They were given a list of their penalties, broken down by undisciplined penalties versus technical penalties. And he told us yesterday that, more games are lost than won in football. Mm-hmm. He said that's just a fact. And he said Florida struggled with far too many undisciplined penalties. He said, look, the goal is to make the other team beat you. And he said that they have they've stressed to the players, look, 1 in every 30 plays, we're fine with a penalty there. But we want it to be a technical penalty, not something undisciplined.
Right.
Like maybe a player throwing a shoe or something stupid like that. And that's been Florida football. We saw it throughout the Dan Mullen era, and Dan would talk about it, and he'd kind of, we want guys to play with emotion and this and that, but yes, we're talking to him about that. We're reeling them in, but there didn't seem to be much progress made there, as we all saw.
Mark, you probably didn't realize this, but Putin was behind that shoe throwing. That was another thing that's happened here.
That was a Bush thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Putin.
When Bush stood up and said, "You missed me."
Here we go.
Unbelievable. How much time we got?
Yeah.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back with Mark McLeod. Mark, when we get back, I was going to ask you about this. 24/7 has Florida win total 7 under. ESPN. Well, I'll tell you what I ask you about when we get back. Mark McLeod will have a lot more in the Florida Gators. We'll get back with Mark. Let's talk about some of our wonderful people. And I got to remind you again, today's Wednesday. You should know that. It's Mark McLeod, J. Michael Spaghetti. It goes hand in hand. It's the best, world famous, both of them. And Wednesday's a special day here. It's mainly Gator stuff. You got Dr. Ward in the morning, Mark McLeod, at 8:30 on. So Get out J. Michaels, have yourself some good spaghetti. Don't forget about Stevenson Air Conditioning. Also, Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Do you want to look better, feel better? Jason Kovaleski. Dr. Ward. Appreciate him coming on this morning. If it doesn't look right, feel right, 1 in 5 develop skin cancer. Do not play around. There's an office near you here in Northwest Florida. If you're not comfortable, go see it. Get it checked out. All right, we'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This is Braves country.
This is unbelievable.
Tonight, Atlanta is at Fenway. The Braves will send Kyle Wright to the mound with a 13-5 record and a 3.22 ERA to take on the Boston Red Sox. First pitch, 6:10. Coverage starts at 6, right after the afternoon underdogs. You're home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast. It's ESPN Northwest Florida.
Tired of being overcharged each month for health insurance or finding out you still have significant out-of-pocket costs from copays or deductibles when you do go see the doctor? Hi, I'm Kevin Shady with KHS & Associates. Our independent insurance agency has helped individuals, families, and even small business employees lower their health care insurance costs with no copays, no 80/20 coinsurance, and no deductibles unless you're hospitalized overnight. Call or text us at 502-386-1128. That's 502-386-1128.
Sykes Concrete has been in business in this area since 1947, and 3 generations later, they're still going strong. See Sykes Concrete for dirt, sand, rock, and concrete. They can handle any size job from the smallest to the largest. Sykes Concrete pays CDL truck drivers some of the highest wages in Bay County, making $50,000 to $75,000 a year, including holiday and vacation pay, plus health insurance. See Hugh Sykes at Sykes Concrete, 8030 Highway 77, on the right, just north of Southport Elementary School.
Hello, this is Rick Vossen with RV of Panama City, your local Stormore portable building dealer. We are located on 2241 East Baldwin Road, Panama City. Shopping for an 8-foot to 16-foot in width or 10-foot to 60-foot in length, cabin, garage, portable building, whatever the needs are. Remember, at Stormore, we can insulate our buildings. We can put electric on, thermal windows, transom dormers. There's so much we can do. Stormore Portable Buildings, 2241 East Baldwin Road.
If you got more A's on your truck than you did in high school, you might be a Bama fan. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Mark's a little bit more, say the word professional, when he looks at things compared to Dr. Ward. Dr. Ward, what do you have Florida going, 9-2?
Oh, yeah, 13-0, I think.
Something like that. He believes.
No, I think he had him losing to Georgia.
Yeah, he had him losing to Georgia. He had him losing at A&M, and there was one other one. Was it LSU?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think he had one. Yeah, 8-3. But Mark, the experts, ESPN's FPI, they got Florida losing. They gave Florida a 39% chance to beat Tennessee. That game's played at Tennessee. They got them at home versus October 15th versus LSU. They got Florida only 44% chance to win that game. Then Georgia, they really say Georgia's got a shot with Georgia, Florida. Florida's really got a shot on October 29th. They give them a 9% chance to win that game. Then they got the A&M game at A&M. They give them a 29% chance to win that one. Then the one I think they might have a shot at, Florida State, they give them a 44% chance to win that game. So the experts there go 7. Yeah, 44% chance to beat Florida
State. To beat Florida State?
Yep.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, that surprised me.
Yeah, so they got them going 7-5, 24-7, over under 7. So we talked to you about it before. You think it's going to be a tough year. Give us a little more feedback on that.
Yeah, that piece must have been written by a Georgia graduate. Gauging Florida is really difficult. I mean, you've got a veteran offensive line, you've got a few good wide receivers. Let's see, none elite, but you got some good wide receivers. You've got Anthony Richardson, who you watched last year when he did get an opportunity and was turned loose, especially using his legs. He was phenomenal. except, again, needed some work in the passing game, and that's what they're working on now and trying to develop. A defense that, I'm sorry, Todd Grantham lost that defense. He totally completely lost that defense. And there's some good players on that side of the ball, too. So I don't know. I don't know about 7. I've been saying if they win 8, Florida fans should be happy. If they win 9, they should be dancing in the streets a little bit because of everything that's happened with the program. And, I saw a column written last week talking about tough schedules, and they had Florida's schedule. They were looking at the month of September, and they said Florida's schedule was the toughest in the country. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Utah's picked to win the Pac-12. You've had Kentucky and Tennessee in a dogfight who would finish second in the East. And granted, that's a drop away from Georgia. We get that. But yeah, I think so much is going to be made on that first month of the season. And again, you hope that this team can come together because, look, they could be 2-2 after those first 4 games. They could be 3-1. And I don't think they'll be 1-3, but there's a possibility they could be 1-3. So, yeah, things are going to be awfully interesting, and I think that first month of the season is going to go a long way to determine what's going on with Florida.
You talk about the first month. Look at October. You got LSU, Georgia, and Texas A&M all back-to-back. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Auburn's schedule's tough, too, now. Auburn, Florida. Yeah, you're in the SEC. It's going to be tough for everybody, but this is nuts, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Mark,
of course, look, why I talk about the first month of the season, we're going to know a lot about Florida football.
Yeah.
And if they can stay healthy, if they can go 3-1 in that first month, or lo and behold, if somehow they go 4-0, that's going to give that team a big bounce and a lot of confidence going into October. So that's why I say it, and then we're going to find out if Florida does go 2-2, we're going to find out a lot about this staff because they're going to have, about 15 days before they take on, I guess longer than that because they play Tennessee on the 24th. But so they're going to have about 22 days to get that group back together before that stretch run in October.
Right.
Mark, so many things went wrong last year. I think one of the things that gets lost in that, you talked about Grantham losing the defense, was losing Miller so early on. And we've talked the back end of the defense. I think we all feel is going to be pretty good. The secondary is good, but how key is Ventrell Miller going to be to the success this year?
Oh, very key. And the things I'm hearing coming out of practice is that Amari Burney is looking better than he's ever looked, according to the other players. They said Burney just looks phenomenal, and the coaches have praised him for being in the right place and making good decisions. Now, again, pads went on yesterday, so we'll see what happens. But Bernie's going to be huge. I totally agree with you. Ventrell Miller, not only from a leadership standpoint, he's got to be healthy, and he can help that Florida defense. And they've got some good young linebackers at Florida, but again, untested, a lot of inexperience there. And, now you're under a staff that does things very differently. So it's going to be very interesting. And by the way, guys, we haven't mentioned yet the news that's coming out right now that it's a rumor right now, but word is that recruits will be allowed at the Florida-Georgia game.
Wow.
Coaches will not be able to interact with them because it is a neutral site game, but that they will be able to give tickets to the families of recruits and to recruits going to that game.
When did this happen? I didn't even know anything about this.
This is coming out this morning. This is and again, it's just a rumor right now, but these are reports. On3 reported it, and now some other sources have picked it up and said that there's a rumor going around about this. But this is clearly in light of Kirby's comments about moving the game out of Jacksonville and again, recruiting being a problem. And a neutral site game. If we're changing everything else in college football, why in the world can't recruits go to a neutral game? That I don't understand.
Right. Wow, I did not know that.
No, that's big news.
Yeah. Hey, I want to go to Utah game. Let's talk a little bit about Utah for a minute. I don't know, Mark. I just got a gut feeling. This is just a gut feeling. I think Georgia's going to take care of Oregon. I think Florida's going to beat Utah. It's going to be. I was hoping today at 2:30 kickoff our time, but it's going to be 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock our time. ESPN. It's going to be hot. That place is going to be so loud. Utah's not used to traveling across the country and playing in a stadium like that. I think that's going to affect them. if Florida is healthy when week one, they should be. If they get some breaks, I think Florida can beat them. I remember watching the Rose Bowl. Utah's defense is nothing special. Offensively, they're pretty good. They got a lot of guys coming back. I know they're getting a lot of love nationally. But I just like Florida's chances this game. Am I crazy or what?
I don't think so. Again, I was there in '82 when Southern Cal came to Florida. Now, that was played during the day, but they melted down. Those guys were melting down. And in the post game, I remember reading some of the interviews and seeing some of the comments in the years past that because Wilbur Marshall had a phenomenal game. He was as dominant as you ever saw. He became an All-American that game. I mean, he solidified his All-American status in front of Keith Jackson in that game. But yeah, they melted down. Look, it's a 7 o'clock kickoff in Gainesville. Anybody who's ever lived in Gainesville knows that, those guys are going to be out there warming up around 5:30. It's going to be sweltering humidity. Heat's going to be there, but the humidity is going to what's going to get these guys. And there's no way they can prepare for that humidity in Utah. No way.
Mark, let me ask you. Wilbur Marshall, didn't he play? He played at Titusville, right?
He sure did. Astronaut High School. 2 astronaut products coming out around that same time: Chris Collinsworth and Wilbur Marshall.
Lake Wales. I used to coach down at Lake Wales. He kicked a field goal in the playoffs and beat us. Wilbur Marshall kicked a field goal. Can you believe that?
He did everything.
That guy was incredible.
He was a tight end, and he came to Florida as a tight end, and Charlie Pell said, "We want to move you to linebacker." And Wilbur was not happy. He was not happy at all. In fact, transfer portal been then. He may have jumped right in it, but it took him a little bit. But once he got in there, then he realized. I interviewed him years ago, and he said, "Yeah." He smiled, and he said, "Yeah." He goes, "I just had to trust Coach Pell, and he kept telling me to trust him, him."
Yeah.
He said, "I trusted him, and it worked out for me pretty well."
Well, that's like Javon Curse, the freak. He was a tight end. They ran a wishbone at North Fort Myers. He was a tight end, free safety. He gets to Florida, he put his hand on the ground.
That guy could do anything.
That guy was on. I coached him in an All-Star game. I love that kid. As a matter of fact, I helped Florida with him.
Yeah, Will Witherspoon coming out of Rutherford. Will Witherspoon, recruiting people writing tight end. He should be a tight end. He probably would have been a great one, but he was an awfully good linebacker, wasn't he?
Mark, we got about 50 seconds. Listen, we got you next week.
Yeah, we should have a lot to talk about with the Gators in pads, and the countdown begins to week 0. Florida State plays, and then of course that the September to remember begins on the 3rd.
Can't wait. Brian will be here Wednesday. I'll be out. I'll be up in Kentucky. I'm gonna go scout the Wildcats. No, I got to go see my brother up there.
Yeah, sorry, Mark, you're stuck with a substitute here.
But y'all will have fun. I'll miss all the good stuff. All right, thank you, Mark, so much. Appreciate you coming on. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you.
All right, David had a great show yesterday. It's going to be even better today.
It better be.
It's going to be outstanding today. The secret weapon is going to be in there this afternoon. The Underdogs and Brian will be there. Haddock.
I don't know. You call me everything.
Haddad. I called you something else, but I can't say it on the air. I get in trouble.
Yeah, FCC and all.
Is it true y'all going to be talking a lot about the volunteers today?
God, no. I hope not.
All right. Y'all listen to Underdogs this day. Dave's got a great show lined up. We're out. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're back in school. Be careful driving today. This afternoon, mornings. We're out.
Like the river, flow so cold, need ice to deliver. Drop so hard like a rock, like a red don't stop, don't slow down.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has the real local fishing report. This is Tim from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle. Join me every Thursday afternoon at 5:15 during the Afternoon Underdogs and Friday mornings during the 6 a.m. hour. It's accurate, concise content from local anglers right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Earthworks of Northwest Florida knows it's a perfect time for you to update your home. Whether it's routine touch-ups or a new look, Earthworks has just what you need. Sand, stone, mulch, and gravel, pickup or delivery. Visit earthworks.com and request a quote. Discover your dream landscape with Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Love the land you live on. Earthworks of Northwest Florida, 2005 Industrial Drive.
Sykes Concrete has been in business in this area since 1947, and 3 generations later, they're still going strong. See Sykes Concrete for dirt, sand, rock, and concrete. They can handle any size job from the